How's it going? I'm Jack Divine. Welcome back to another episode of Jacksnax. Today on the channel we're going to talk about It's All Over Now, Baby Blue by Bob Dylan and the Grateful Dead. All right, they both play it. The song's out of D major. All right, so we're going to need to, have some D major chops available. And there's this one spectacular chord in the middle of the tune, this F sharp dominant 7 chord, that affords us the ability to channel some Phrygian dominant or harmonic minor changes, and we'll get to that in a minute. And the bulk of the tune, is not usually over the D chord. We're focusing over the verse, which is A to G to D, right? So that's the part where it's... That's the melody, but you can play anything you want over top of that as long as you're playing A. G to D, right? So I guess the hook, that's kind of like the most important line in the whole thing, is this. Okay, so we're going chromatically up from D to E over the E minor chord, and then the G chord comes in. We're going to kind of come up to its major 7 and down to the 5th. Over top of the G chord, and then resolve to the D. So let's look at that, okay? I start here and play it in this octave, but frankly, you've got to know it everywhere, right? All right, get it together there, because no matter where you are, you're going to have to refer to it several times. It's also in the pre-chorus, or whatever you want to call it, that little part that leads up to it, right before the F sharp chord. All right, so sorry if I'm a little all over the place. I'm doing this about 101 fever, but I've been playing guitar just the same, and I just figured I would make a video because I was bored. But all right, let's talk about it. All right, we're going to come up out of the, so that's B, open D, E sharp, E flat, and then into E, okay, on the downbeat. All right, and now I'm going to play the same up, an octave, right? Okay, we want to play with it now. A, okay, G. Okay, so let's talk about that. I'm saying A because we're playing over an A chord, but the vocal is coming off of the 5 of its chord D. And then up from the 2nd degree of D into its 3rd. Okay, so right, we're looking at that kind of vibe, right? So A off of its 5, G off of its 5, and then 2, 3 up into the D chord, right? And we do that twice. Then we come up into this kind of pre-chorus section where we're quoting the tagline. Okay, and you're gonna have to know a couple of variations of that. So okay, now that's when the F sharp chord comes in. It's this beautiful F sharp with a major third. Okay, so that's breaking key, right? If we're at a D major, the second, third chord right there usually would be this F sharp minor, right? So we'd be looking at an F sharp Phrygian sound, but he makes it a dominant chord. So I use the Phrygian dominant there. I'm still playing Phrygian, but I bring in the major third. So all the A notes from my Phrygian scale turn into B flat notes. But I don't really think of it in those terms. I don't think about it in terms of I'm playing Phrygian. I think of it more like if I was playing, you could think of it like B harmonic minor. Playing from its 5th degree. That's one way of looking at it, right? Exotic sound is spectacular over this particular chord, and then we modulate to A major, and then back into the tagline. All right, so that's the structure, and I'm sorry if I'm, like I said, I'm sorry if I'm meandering. I'm a bit fevered at the moment, but let's talk about that F sharp chord, okay? It's an F sharp 7, okay, or a flat 7, right? So we've got an F sharp with the 1, major 3, 5, and we're going to do, it's flat 7. So that means an F sharp triad with an E in it. Okay, so those are the 4 notes that are guaranteed to work. But if you want to play anything other than those 4 notes, you're in deep doo-doo if you don't know what you're up to, all right? So the notes that we normally would look to over a dominant 7 chord, major 2nd and the 6th, if we were thinking Mixolydian, those aren't going to work. Those aren't going to sound good. Those are going to sound completely out of key. So what we need to do is flatten our 2nd. Okay, so we end up with this minor third between this B flat note, okay, the 3rd of the F sharp chord, and the 2nd degree of the scale is going to be flattened. So we're going to, and that's what gives it that harmonic minor sound, is that minor third between those 2 degrees. Okay, so we've got this, that's a flat 2, you know. We normally would be playing that, but we're going here. Okay, rather than our normal 6, we're going to play a flat 6. So we have flat 2, flat 6, okay? And we've got our regular 4. So when we look at it like that, we've got this triad. And so we're playing G triads and F sharp triads, but we're only going to have the flat 7 of the F sharp triad. So we've got these 3 notes, and these 3 notes, and this note. So that makes 7 notes in our scale, okay? And that would start here. Okay, so if you see it like that, maybe you'll see basically just walking down this shape. This shape, this F sharp, it's going to be F sharps 1, 3, and 5, 1, 3, and 5, all with 1 fret above it. Plus its flat 7. That one we don't alter. We don't do the +1 there. So over top of that F sharp chord, look for this kind of motion. And now we're back to the A chord that comes afterwards. This is a really slick, sneaky little move to know about. Okay, it's very simple to do. Ring finger comes in, grabs the +1 for the root. So middle finger, ring finger, index slide, ring finger slide. Then we tackle the rest of it. okay, with these two, and then we come. That's the way I speed through that line. Okay, and now we're back into the A chord. Okay, so don't forget, that is just B minor with a major 7. But we're kind of basing it off of that 5th. That's why they call it the 5th degree of the B harmonic minor, okay? Or we could call it Phrygian dominant. Okay, so that means we're playing a dominant chord. Okay, that means with a, sorry, wrong chord. A dominant chord, okay, with the major 3rd, okay? But we're going to be playing a Phrygian 2. And a Phrygian 5 and a 6. So, okay, and that's what gives it that kind of Andalusian, Spanish, whatever you want to call it vibe, okay? So let's look at it again. My strategy, I start out quoting the melody. G chord, D chord, and I play the same idea up an octave. Okay, get up to our A. Out of the D major scale that was, okay? G, and then 2 to 3 over the D. Okay, E minor. Again. Here's our F sharp. Into A chord, and now the tagline. And we're going to do it again. Okay. That's pretty much it. All right, now I would basically be looking at doing that a second time with probably a more complicated rendering over the A, G, D changes, but everything else I would probably leave about the same. I really wouldn't want to overplay on something as mournful. Like there is something just achingly poignant when you leave a lot of space. You at least give the listener a chance to actually feel what you're playing, right? If you play a barrage of crazy notes, it had better be to good effect. But let's look at like, you could always do a nice arpeggio to get up to that A for the verse section. Let's try one like that, okay? So chromatically up into the D, from the D into E rather.